Hi, good evening, everyone. Just a few thoughts and concerns about a safe return to school.
So we've been reading the policy outlined by the school board, and it's a 44-page document that we've gone over, put aside, gone over, put aside. Very frustrating to read it. The issues that we're seeing in particular, the hygiene within the school, they're talking about the cleaning of high touch areas. We've seen in the past, when our son was 6 years old, in grade one, refusing to use the bathroom because it was not sanitary. There, in our son's school, there is one custodian for a school of 500 plus students. We can hope that they're hiring more staff to be able to manage the cleanliness of the school. Not confident that's going to happen.
Well, if I could jump in just for a moment, no, it's completely unacceptable. With this pandemic and a safe return to school, there has to be professionals, not a do-it-aller. He's doing a wonderful job. He's doing as best he can, but when you're trying to keep up to a school that has 500 plus students, you cannot do your daily duties to a satisfactory level that's going to make any reasonable parent comfortable with having their child in there. These high touch areas, that's fine. It it has to be sanitary at all times. Anytime the school classes are in place, there have to be somebody that has a meticulous technique to make ensure that all of these areas are impeccable. Now, let's discuss the washrooms just for a moment, if I may. Like my better half had mentioned, our son came home and he told us, as well as the teacher, that Dad, I can't use the washroom. It's not clean. Well, he used the words sanitary, but yeah, I can see that. Any place that has a high usage of facilities of such, if you don't have a person on duty that when the washrooms or facilities are used, you get yourself in there and you ensure that your job is safe and secure because you are doing an incredible job. People will rave about it, you will feel great about it, and you will put at ease a lot of parents' minds to ensure this. Now, I'm going to stop right here because you just can't expect people to think that it's going to be acceptable for custodians to go in a couple of times in the run of a day and in the evening time. You have to be there on duty to ensure all these areas are incredibly clean. It has to be 100% sanitized, and you will get it 100% sanitized. That's not an unacceptable proposal because it's cleaning. It can be done, and it must be done.
And there are ways to assist by having the water and the soap dispensers being motion censored so that the kids don't actually have to touch faucets or the dispensers. People talk about, the education system needs to put more money into it. Well, here's some ideas for putting more money into the system. Implement the no touch, motion sensor, water taps, soap dispensers. If there are doors that have to be kept closed due to fire hazard risks, then again, motion sensors can be put into place so that people don't have to touch what is normally considered a high touch area. the other issues that we were very concerned about, of course, with the busing, the kids are going to be required to wear masks on the bus, even though they're reducing the bus load from 72 to 46 students. But you're telling the kids they have to wear their masks on the bus, and as soon as they walk into their elementary school, they don't need to wear their masks. So you're going from a bus of 46 students to a school of 500 plus students. You wear your mask when there's only 46 students. You don't wear a mask when there's 500 plus students, along with the staff.
And yes, very good, very good. It's our son's class. I believe last year it was 24. So the class sizes are staying the same. The distancing, I mean, they love to get back with their classmates, long since overdue. It's very important. It's vital to a child's growth to be able to interact in a safe, healthy manner with the new norm. It's going to take much adjusting, but if you expect to have a safe, healthy environment, then these simple rules have to be followed, and you can't have overcrowding. You must maintain social distancing, and this no mask in the school for grades K to 6, it's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. You can't let a loved one go to school these days until there is a vaccine, until you're able to implement these seemingly very simple adjustments. And you've had more than enough time to already have these in place. So to try to ensure that it's going to be a safe return to school, it's, well, no, you're sadly mistaken. You have been in the past. You are continuing to do so. This 44-page document, we can go through page by page, and we can pick it out. We'll be more than happy to sit down with a board of directors. I mean, who are we? Well, we're caring, loving parents, working class, that we refuse to send our son back to school. We love him too much to expose him to something that you have failed in the past before this pandemic. You need lots of improvement, and you haven't done so. You're still trying. That's fantastic. You've had more than enough opportunities, but we were willing, and you try to educate your child, and not just through the school, but his upbringing. You can't neglect it any longer. As I said, it's unacceptable. Can we go back and just a little bit and speak about the Spanish flu, 1918 to 1920. With your empty promises, with your structure that you had in place via government officials and newspapers, downsizing the
Downplaying.
and downplaying too. Okay, I accept that. The it has caused much grief for many Canadians now. Worldwide, yeah, we're all loved ones. So to downplay anymore is inappropriate. It's unaccepted, and any loving parent, you cannot have your child exposed to that kind of an environment. You're not taking care of your class sizes. This mask, this social distancing. You can't even appropriately in our minds, because we've been exposed to it to much more than what should any parents should have to be uh, with any reasonable expectations of zero tolerance. Well, history has shown, and well, I'll let the other half. I tend to rant.
Those were really the key points that we picked up on that were really sticking out for us as being significant issues. Teaching our son that if he's going into the stores with us, if he's going into the public library, if he's going into any public enclosed space, he is required to wear a mask.
Absolutely.
But he can walk into his school and those same rules do not apply. And how is that right? How is it okay for him to walk into school and not have to wear a mask, but he cannot walk into any other public enclosed place without wearing a mask? It doesn't make sense. There's a consistency that needs to be maintained,
Absolutely.
and it's not happening with the school system. They dropped the bus loads from 72 to 46 and require students to wear masks on the bus. So how is that better than not wearing a mask in a school of 500? There are about 6,000 students who will have to find alternative means of transportation to get to school. So
sadly, so if I can jump in, sadly a large number of those are not going to be able to, unless their standards are going to diminish just that little bit more, and carpool and expose your children to a little bit more of this risk. And this risk is far too risky. Too risky. We need to.
given that we're in the fall, it's cold and flu season anyway. And this was another point of they have a screening questionnaire that you run through every morning to determine if it's okay for your child to go to school. So if they have a runny nose and a cough, then, well, best to keep them at home. And yeah, totally understandable. But the fact of the matter is, there are going to be kids that go to school and don't show any symptoms until after they arrive at school. Then they're going to be isolated. And again, I understand the need to isolate them, but the fact remains this is cold and flu season, allergy season. These are all factors that need to be taken into account. So when you consider all of those factors and the lack of requirement for physical distancing, masks in the schools, it's not appropriate, not for our kids.
No, and as we said, hate to keep on reiterating. It's frustrating that you can blatantly hand out some new rules and new regulations, but you're not willing to accept that if something do break loose, and hopefully it doesn't, but history has shown, and we're not willing. There's no way that we're willing to chance it with the very few promises and rules that you're wish to us to accept, that it's going to be a safe return to school. There is no safe return to school, and it's unfortunate because even though there were issues with the zero tolerance policy and the bullying and having products being brought into school, our other videos has gotten into more detail about those. And it was a far cry from being acceptable. Um, Ones who've been through it can give an example to other parents that well, you got no one to blame but yourself if something, and most likely it will. We hope it doesn't. We hope that there's going to be a cure and everything is going to be okay. But the new norm is, well, this is it. Uncertainty. So we have to take care of the ones we love and keep them healthy and safe. So with that, I'm sure we'll get back to this again. Hope you guys some great food for thought. Looking for any comments you guys might have. We're a fountain of information when it comes to the health and well-being. Many challenges on for this family, so keep in touch, and we'll be seeing you soon. Have a great evening.